Okay, let's get into this. We've got a really detailed look at the first few days of a 30-day water fast.
Hmm.
This comes from the personal account of Dave Does Life, and honestly, what he shares from the trenches.
Okay.
It's just essential stuff for anyone trying to understand what a long-term fast really takes.
Right. And for you, the listener, the mission here isn't just to hear a story. It's really to pull out the critical, actionable knowledge from his experience.
Yeah, we're going beyond just the weight loss numbers.
Exactly. We're going to dissect the physical shifts that happen right away, the psychological side of it, and, the deep biological stuff that kicks off in those first few days.
At that moment, the body really flips the switch.
The moment it switches from burning breakfast to, well, full-blown internal cleanup.
And it's so important to set the stage here. This is not some amateur just giving it a shot.
Not at all.
Dave is a very experienced faster. He did a huge 42-day water fast back in 2019. He regularly does 7 to 10-day fasts, even 36-hour dry fasts.
So when he says the first 48 hours are tough, it's legit. His experience just lends so much credibility to everything he's documenting.
Absolutely. And he's not just doing this to prove a point. He has some very specific high-stakes goals.
Right. He calls this a super detox, and it's driven mostly by health concerns.
He mentioned rising PSA numbers, which, for you listening, stands for prostate-specific antigen.
Exactly. It's a key marker, and with his past prostate cancer scare, rising numbers are, something you pay close attention to.
So this is a targeted intervention.
It is. It's aimed at cellular health and maybe even more urgently, tackling his high blood pressure, which was high right at the start.
And then there's a secondary goal, which is just as important: breaking bad habits.
Yeah, he mentioned he'd slipped back into a daily alcohol habit.
And a month on just water is, well, probably the ultimate hard reset for something like that.
It's a total pattern interrupt, and you have to appreciate the planning that went into this.
Timing of it all.
Yeah, the 30-day duration is specifically set to end 3 or 4 days before the Super Bowl.
So he has time to refeed properly.
Right. That little buffer lets him do his whole refeeding process, which is just as critical as the fast itself, and get his post-fast blood work done. That's the kind of foresight you need.
Okay, so let's get into the data. But first, phase 1, the rough start. I mean, just how brutal was that initial 48 hours?
Well, day 1 was so bad he didn't even vlog.
He was hit with nausea, ringing in his ears, bad shakes.
The works. He just went radio silent and only came back at the end of day 2. That initial shock is just the body screaming for its comfort zone.
So what were his baseline stats going in?
Okay, so he started at 190.2 pounds with 28.7% body fat. But the bigger concern was his blood pressure, 146 over 87.
Wow, that's high.
And a resting heart rate of 91 beats per minute. The system was definitely stressed.
Okay, so after 2 full days of fasting, by the morning of day 3, what did those markers look like?
He was down 3.6 pounds to 186.6, and body fat was down a bit to 28.1%.
That sounds like a good start.
It does, but here's the piece of wisdom from an experienced faster, the part you really need to hear. Dave ignores it.
He ignores the 3.6 pounds. Why?
He doesn't count any weight loss until he's past the 5-pound mark.
Huh.
Because he knows from experience that initial drop is almost all water weight and glycogen being burned off. That first 5 pounds, he says, it comes back instantly when you start refeeding.
So by discounting it, he's managing his own psychology.
Exactly. He's not celebrating a temporary win. He's focused on the real fat loss that comes later. It's a powerful mental game.
Okay, but what about the blood pressure? Because that's a primary health goal.
And that's where you see an immediate, massive result.
Right. He started at 146 over 87.
By day 3 morning, it had dropped to 123 over 81.
That is a huge drop.
A huge drop, and his resting heart rate was down from 91 to 80. It just shows you how quickly the body responds when you cut out processed foods, sodium, alcohol, all the inputs.
So he's almost instantly out of that hypertensive range.
Yeah.
But let me ask, is that drop stable? Or is it tied to that initial water loss?
That is a great question. A lot of that initial drop is definitely helped by the water and sodium flush. If he stopped now, it would likely creep back up.
Okay.
But the fact that his heart rate also dropped suggests a deeper systemic calming. By pushing through for 30 days, he's giving his body a chance to reset its baseline. He's looking for a durable change, not just a temporary dip.
That makes sense. Okay, so let's move into phase 2. Day 3. This is where the deeper biological stuff really kicks into high gear. We're talking about autophagy.
Yes. Autophagy, it literally means self-eating, and it's the process everyone gets excited about with extended fasting.
It's the body's internal recycling system.
Pretty much. Instead of getting fuel from food, the body starts breaking down its own junk, dead, damaged, diseased cells to create energy. It's the ultimate cleanup crew.
And Dave notes that for him, this process absolutely peaks on day 3.
Right. The intensity of that recycling hits its max because the body has finally burned through all its stored sugar and is forced to turn to fat and, more importantly, cellular waste for fuel.
But I saw he addressed a really smart question from one of his friends. It's a question I think anyone would ask.
Okay.
If autophagy peaks on day 3 and then starts to level off by day 5, why keep going for 30 days? Why not just do a 3-day fast every month?
This is where his experience is so valuable. He uses this fantastic analogy, the gravel shoveling analogy.
Okay.
Imagine you've got a huge pile of toxic gravel that's your damaged cells in your driveway. You might be at peak shovel intensity for the first 3 days, right? You're clearing the easy stuff really fast.
But you don't stop just because your shoveling pace slows down a little.
Exactly. You keep going until the pile is gone. The cellular cleanup never drops to 0 while you're fasting. It just gets less intense.
Yeah.
By going for 30 days, he ensures the process gets to the deep-seated junk, not just the surface stuff.
So the peak is just the engine getting fully warmed up. The real work takes time.
You got it. And while that beneficial process is peaking, so are the detox symptoms, which is proof it's working.
Right. He mentioned a gout flare-up on day 2 and 3. Said it happens to him like clockwork.
A classic detox sign. It's all about uric acid. Normally, your kidneys are busy filtering what you eat. When you fast, they're suddenly free.
And they go into overdrive on the stored stuff.
They start aggressively flushing out stored toxins, and one of those is uric acid. That sudden surge being mobilized is what causes the inflammation and pain of a gout attack.
So the early pain, the nausea, the shakes, the gout, it's not random suffering.
No, it's proof that the body is successfully purging deeply stored toxins. It's the body moving mountains, basically.
And once that physical purge starts to calm down, you hit phase 3, the mental wall.
Day 4. For a lot of people, this is the breaking point. The body is out of easy fuel, the toxins have peaked, the fatigue can be immense.
This is where most people quit.
It is.
Yeah.
But surprisingly, Dave woke up on day 4 feeling absolutely great.
Right. He credited some powdered magnesium for finally beating the insomnia he had had.
Yeah, he had a good day, but we should list the common symptoms that derail most people here, because he's kind of an exception.
Okay, what should people be ready for?
You get the restlessness, that horrifically bad breath and body odor, the fuzzy, coated tongue.
That's fuzz on your teeth, yeah.
And of course, the intense hunger pangs that come in waves. Knowing those are temporary detox signals is really the key.
But if those physical things pass, what's the next big hurdle? He points to something counterintuitive. Boredom.
This is maybe the most powerful insight for anyone listening. We focus so much on the physical feeling of hunger, but we forget how much time food takes up in our lives.
He calculated he saves 3 to 4 hours a day.
Minimum. Just by cutting out cooking, meal prep, dishes, grocery shopping, all of it.
That is a staggering amount of extra time.
It is, and that's supposed to be a benefit, right? More time, more clarity. But if you aren't prepared for it, it creates this huge vacuum. That emptiness becomes boredom, and then the bored mind just focuses on the one thing it's missing. Food. The extra time becomes a trap. You've got 3 empty hours. What do? You start scrolling through food pictures on Instagram.
Which he learned the hard way is a terrible idea.
A profoundly bad idea. He admits that in past fasts, he'd look at cookbooks, watch YouTube recipes, plan future meals, and he realized that all that mental stimulation just made him want to quit the fast right now.
So what's the discipline this time?
Cut it out completely. No recipes, no grocery lists, no food tube. He recognizes that once the physical detox is over, the rest of the 30 days is a psychological game.
It's all about mental discipline.
Extreme mental discipline.
Yeah.
And avoiding those triggers.
Okay, so let's zoom out a bit. Dave outlines 4 main reasons people fast, which I think helps contextualize this whole thing.
Right. Number 1, health reasons. That's his primary goal with the BP and PSA. Number 2, weight loss.
3 is religious or spiritual reasons. And 4 is breaking bad habits, like his goal to stop daily drinking.
And the crucial concept here is what he calls augmentation. No matter which reason is your main one, you get the benefits of all the others.
You'll still lose weight, get mental clarity, improve your health.
Exactly. So you should tailor the fast to your main goal. If it's health, like for Dave, you augment it with light exercise, an hour on the elliptical, stretching, that kind of thing. It enhances the benefits.
And if it was spiritual?
You'd couple it with meditation or prayer to really lean into that mental clarity.
It's also interesting to note his lifestyle. He lives on a small farm, grows his own food.
Raises pigs and chickens, yeah.
Yeah.
He generally eats well.
So his problem isn't really the quality of his diet when he is eating. The fast is targeting the behavior, the system itself.
The chronic bad habits like too much computer time and the daily alcohol.
Yeah.
Oh, and he made a quick point about climate.
Right, that it's better to fast in the summer because you get cold.
Your metabolism slows way down, so
Oh.
yeah. But he's doing it in January.
Why?
Logistics. He calls himself a ridiculous foodie who loves cooking outdoors in the summer, grilling, smoking.
So he'd be surrounded by food triggers constantly.
Exactly. Summer just doesn't work for his lifestyle. So January it is. He just knows he needs extra layers.
Okay, so let's wrap up this deep dive on the initial phase. The key lessons for you listening seem to be the rapid physical response, that BP drop, the uric acid flush, and that peak autophagy window.
But maybe most importantly, the realization that the real long-term challenge isn't physical hunger. It's managing the psychological game.
Boredom and avoiding food triggers.
Yeah. And looking ahead, the real measure of success here is going to be the objective data. He's scheduled a full blood workup for day 31.
The morning after he breaks the fast.
Right before he really starts refeeding. That's the ultimate test. He's checking everything: cholesterol, testosterone, liver markers.
And most critically, those PSA levels.
The numbers will tell the real story of whether this super detox worked. The fast is the experiment. The blood test is the conclusion.
So here's the final thought for you to really chew on. This deep dive shows that fasting is just as much about managing unexpected things, like all that extra free time, as it is about fighting hunger. That I had to consciously cut out looking at recipes and food media, his triggers, to succeed.
So if you apply that rule to other habits you're trying to break, maybe cutting down screen time or a shopping habit, what's the seemingly harmless, counterproductive activity you might need to cut out entirely?
What are the recipes you need to stop reading, even when it feels like it doesn't matter?
Dave does live.